welcome back to Behind the ZCenes. So, this is Ganonco 2 again. Yeah, I didn't say trouble. Okay, so this is the flute dungeon on the same map as the level 2. So how this works is it's basically the same thing as the timed block puzzle dungeon, except you have to kill all the enemies in time. So here we have the keys, and then once you kill all the keys, they will open the door. But you have to go in before these blocks come up, so they're the same combos as in the timed block puzzle dungeon. So how this works is there are warps here, which will take you to the same screen. So let's see, tile warp. So Flute 2, and it's an entrance and exit. Now that is important because, as you can see, let's see, where's Flute? Here one, Flute 1, interior, and Flute 2 is overworld. Now the reason that Flute 1 is an interior and Flute 2 is an overworld is because when you use an entrance and exit tile warp here, and then it'll take you right back into here. So they're both entrance and exits. So when you do that, from an overworld into an interior or NES-style dungeon level, then all the enemies will respawn. It's 100%. In 210, you had the flag here, enemy flags. Let's see, enemies always return. You had that screen flag in 210, but it didn't work. So this is the only way to basically do that in 210. In 2.5, you just hit that enemies always return flag and it will work, no problem. So this made it a little bit more complicated to do in 210. So basically all these screens are like that. This will take you outside to here, same type of screen, and then take you back here. And then same thing over here to here. And basically the same thing, and then you go into the second floor, same thing, and then here you get the whistle after killing some Dig Dogger kids. Alright, so that is the flute dungeon. You have to kill all the enemies in time, or else you have to start the room over again. And that's why I say, make sure you take the tile warps instead of going back through the door. If you go back through the door, it will take you back to the entrance. So just a heads up there. I think there's a book in the library that will tell you that. Anything over here? Wait, where am I? Okay, here are a couple of places. So there's a place called Witty Cave Name, which will take you out here. Where does it start? Okay, right here. This is where it starts. So there's just a desert here. By this time you'll have the Lens of Truth, so you'll be able to see these arrows here with your Lens of Truth. So flag 14 is a lens marker, I believe. Let's see, lens marker. So it'll just like appear as a white flickering square when you use your Lens of Truth. So it tells you to go this way up, and so forth. And the other ways, let's say you go down here. You go down here and you go left or right or down. So we have side warps, right or down. It will take you back to the starting screen here, and this will also take you back to the starting screen if you go left or right. Except there is a secret here. So there's a hint in the library. It says if I follow the blue skulls, I make it to a secret lair area. So follow the blue skulls over to here is a direct warp, which will take you to the exact same screen here, which is also surrounded by direct warps around it. So this is a different screen, so there's no side warp here. Or there might be. No, there's no side warp, so it will take you over here. So basically the exact same thing here. This should have side warps all around to go back to the first screen. But when you walk over to here and then hit this, go straight up, following the blue skull, another direct warp, which will take you to the next screen. Exact same screen with direct warps around it. And then up here, we'll take you to the next screen, which will take you to the next screen. Let's see, tile warp over here. And then I think there's a side warp here. No, there isn't. It'll take you over here, and then up here, and then up to here, which is where you get the fire boomerang. So this is a secret little level here. right here. Go up here, fight a fire Gleeok, and you get the fire boomerang. So you can get the fire boomerang pretty early because this place is accessible. Well, it's basically mandatory after level 2. Once you finish level 2. Okay, and this, I believe, is the Witty Cave name. Here's the bridge that connects the northern overworld to the southern overworld. So, at first it'll be like this, but there should be some flags around here. Oh, yeah, just flags to fix the bridge, so. Is there anything on this screen? Okay, so this comes from Overworld 2, and it'll take you to the first Overworld, I believe. Let's see, is there a tile warp? Yeah, there is. Okay. Yeah, so I guess there should be a tile warp somewhere around here, or a direct warp. Yeah, so it'll... Because you can't have 2 side warps on the same screen in 2.10, you actually have to make 2 bridges and then a tile warp somewhere around, because this is between 2 overworlds, so yeah. You can't really have 2 side warps in 2.10. So this one will take you up here. It will take you back to Overworld 1, and then this one will take you to Overworld... the direct warp will take you over to here, to Overworld 2. And then there should be a direct warp probably up here. Yeah, it'll take you back over to this bridge, which will take you back to level 1, or Overworld 1. And then, once you come in from Overworld 1, I don't want you to go to Overworld 2 yet, so we also have a dungeon boss trigger here. Dungeon boss flag, an enemy secret, and then trigger. And I'll show you where that is. It's actually in the Witty Cave name right here. So you enter from right here. Yes, you enter from right here in the southwestern part of the overworld, the first overworld, and you drop in so you can't come back out. That's important because otherwise you'd be able to skip a lot of stuff that I don't want you to be able to skip. So you come through here and then over here. And a lot of people ask me if there's anything in this treasure chest. There is not. As you can see, there is no item and screen. There is no catch-all. There is no room type. There is nothing in this treasure chest. There are no tile warps. There are no side warps. There. I've proven there's nothing in that treasure chest. Okay. Actually, you have to go around here first. And then push these things, these statues over here and here. So you can see there's flags, and then 18 will turn into a trigger permanent, so that will make this statue which disappears, it'll make that permanent. Okay, so you go up here, around here, and then you have to bomb this rock, which will, I think, create some... Oh no, it'll just create stairs to the next room here, which is the exact same. And there is a Step Secrets permanent here, which is the... It's not the dungeon boss? Maybe the dungeon boss is over here. Did I put it here? Okay, I did. So the dungeon boss is here. I believe you come out here. Okay, so Step Secrets permanent are here. So this is the trigger that will complete the bridge back between those 2 overworlds. So once you save this guy from the rock here, he will give you the boss key, which I think he gives you here. Yeah, he'll give you the boss key, and then he will go out and he says he will go out and fix the bridge for you. So that's the trigger to fix the bridge. So once you get out of here, you'll appear in the southern overworld, and then you'll be able to go back to the first overworld via bridge or via Whistle, which is also in the southern overworld. Okay, and in this dungeon is also the most complicated screen I have ever done, which is just this one, which is way more complicated than it needs to be. First over here, as you can see, there's lava with a key on it, but if you look at the flags, there are lens markers to go all the way around here, and then actually you need to hit this switch, and this is damage 1 heart over the key, and once you hit that switch, it will turn into just walkable. So these are all walkable, these are all damage 1 heart. And then up here, this is a room with a Tribble Vire, which will create Tribble Keys, which will eventually give you magic. So I wanted to make sure you had magic to use the Lens of Truth. There's one thing that drives me nuts about quests is having to scrounge around for magic in a dungeon where you really need it and enemies just don't drop them. So if you're going to make a dungeon that's really heavy on using magic, please make sure you put in enemies that give you magic, like bats or Tribalvires or Tribalzoles. Although if you have Tribalzoles, make sure you don't have the magical sword, or else you just kill them in one hit and not get any magic. Alright, so there's just some traps over here. Come out and hit you. More traps, and then over here is the boss key, and then over here, to kill the enemies, some Moldorms, nothing too tough. You will get the Lens of Truth here. Let's see, catch all Lens of Truth. So as you can see, a couple of treasure chests will spawn here. One of them will be, let's see, secret combos. Yeah, one of them will be, or skull pots, I guess. One of the skull pots will have a /item or Armos item flag on it, and that's where you will get the Lens of Truth. So then you get the key from the other side, go through here. This is just these are just overhead layers, I believe, and then walk through it. There are lens markers there, and then walk through the water here. There are lens markers, although there's really no penalty for touching the water or anything there. And then you go out here, and this will take you to that desert area, which is actually called Desolation, I think. So go through Desolation, and you will end up in the Southern Overworld. Okay, so this room. This is extremely complicated, and I wanted to make it even more complicated, or I don't know. But I didn't have the rule where you can push blocks onto non-walkable combos, so I had to sort of change it a bit. So what I originally wanted, I wanted you to have to come through here, push this guy all the way down here, which would eventually create permanent triggers right here. So that secret would be saved, and it would activate the other flags on this screen. So then what I wanted originally is that this one would light up, although it does light up, I believe. Yeah, it does light up. So then I wanted you to be able to push this one across to go across there. So you had to push this one first, come back, and then push this one across. But because I have it so you can't push blocks onto walkable or non-walkable combos, I would have had to make these all walkable, and then these ones here walkable. So if you push this down to here, you could just walk across. So that wouldn't work. As you can see, as you can see, this is all walkable here, so you can push the block across. So then what I ended up doing is making it so this thing lights up, and then you have to hit it with your boomerang. So then these warps here will light up. So once you go onto this warp, it will take you over here. And once you go onto this warp, it will take you over here. And doing that was unbelievably complicated. I'll show you. So it takes you over here. So screen, let's get rid of the layers here. Okay. So these are stairs over to another screen. So the conveyor down, I believe, will just take you back to the other screen here, or the original screen here. Here. So I believe the conveyor will take you there and then spawn you right there. But I also needed a spawn point over here, and you can't do that in 2.10. You can in 2.5. Just put B here, and then on the tile warp, you would just use, like, say B. You'd use warp return B to go back to that one. But you can't do that in 2.10, so what I did is I made these stairs to go over to another screen. Didn't I? Oh, wait. Sorry, it's on B, so A. You'll go over to here. Layers, turn it off. Okay. So it will put you right here, and these are direct warps. And these direct warps will take you back to this screen, and it will put you over here. So that's how I did that. It's extremely complicated, and with 2.5 it would have been so easy. You just, you know, make this warp A, or stairs A, and this one is stairs B. Put let's say, the A return right here, and then the B return right here. So if this is A, you just say, go to the same screen and use B return. It will drop you off there. And then there's B, use A return, and it will drop you off here. So it's a lot easier in 2.5 than in 2.10. But anyways, what do we have over here? Oh, this is the library. Okay, so these are just the layers for the library, and actually have... These are all the screens where you're reading the books, so they will all warp you over to one of these if there's a screen with a book on it. So as you can see, they'll drop you off here, and then there will be direct warps around it. Huh? Okay, direct warps all the way around here. And it will just take you back to the screen where you were. I think that's this one? No. This one is this one, right? I don't know, I don't remember, but... Anyway, when you read these books, it'll just give you some sort of information on some of the game and stuff like that. So, actually, there's one thing I didn't show you. So how to put together strings. So here, this is where you type your string, and if you want to string it to a next one, you have to go next string here and then 12. So this one's 11, so once you put, let's say here, I'll show you here actually. So let's see, strings, message string, so 90. So 94 will link to 95, which will link to 96. So when you go here, it will show string 94, and then press A, it'll show string 95, and then press A, it'll show string 96. So that is how you string together strings. Not too difficult. But anyway, that's it for this episode of Behind the ZCenes. Next time, we will continue through Ganonco 2. I will see you next time.